All right. We are live for the ninth episode. Welcome to the ninth episode of the Revolutionary Code, where we bring the truth about how governmental politics actually works in every facet of human existence and how that affects our people, Black people here in America. I am your host, Brother Tamani M. Wandani out of Houston, Texas. I am the direct revolutionary product of one Cardinal and Bayou Chewy of the Shrines of the Black Madonna, and the indirect revolutionary product of one Albert B. Clegg, African name Jaramogi Abebe Ajiman, the father of liberation theology and the founder of the Shrines of the Black Madonna. I am also the founder of the Black Gold Nation movement. My co-host, the National Director of Political Strategy and Implementation for the Black Gold Nation movement and the chairman of LACE, Liberation Advocates for Community Empowerment, the intellectual gangster and corporate grassroots revolutionary from Shreveport, Louisiana, aka The Boot, Brother Craig B. Lee. How you doing this evening, Brother Craig?
I am doing absolutely wonderful, and I'm bringing you greetings from Atlanta, Georgia, and of course, the Shreveport has invaded my old stomping ground. This is my third home, Shreveport being my first, New Orleans being my second, and ATL, where I was cultivated in this corporate game, and definitely helping to impact my Black revolutionary advocacy mindset. So I am doing absolutely wonderful being back on the east side of the southern region.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, if you are joining us via Zoom and you have a question, please post that question in the chat. If you don't mind being on camera, make sure your phone is turned sideways if you're using your phone to ensure that I don't get flack from our media department. If you are one of our ambassadors who are tuning in, please share tonight's video via a watch party on Facebook. Before we get started this evening, please allow me a moment to briefly tell you about the Black Gold Nation movement. Our ultimate goal is to put ourselves, our people, Black people, in a position by which we can own and or control the environment, because we understand that when we allow other people to control our environment, we lose, period, every single time. When we allow other people to control any aspect of our environment, the security systems, the agricultural systems, the political systems, the economic systems, when other people control the systems in our environment, our communities, our towns, our cities, we always find ourselves on the bottom and everybody else on the top. So we want to flip that. We want to put ourselves in control of our environment so that we can be on top and we can start moving the Black forward, the Black mind, body, spirit, and psyche. So we are not here to just inform or educate you. We are here to inform, educate, motivate, mobilize, organize, and build. Everything we say and everything we do is about getting you on board to help us build a nation within this nation for our people, period. That's why we are here. Tonight's show title is The Philosophy, System, and Game of Capitalistic White Supremacy and Racism, Understanding Its Origins, Our Current Reality, and What We Must Do Now. All right, Brother Craig, that is the title, The Philosophy, System, and Game of Capitalistic White Supremacy and Racism, Understanding Its Origins, Our Current Reality, and What We Must Do Now. So last week, and the week before that, you broke down what you mean by philosophy, system, and game of capitalistic white supremacy and racism. So I'm not going to ask you that again. So we're just going to jump right into the history of this philosophy. So last week, and I think the week prior to that, you mentioned two things as it relates to the philosophy of capitalistic white supremacy and racism. You mentioned manifest destiny.
True.
And the divine right of kings.
Yes.
So let's start with the first one. What is manifest destiny?
So manifest destiny, as I mentioned, an idea comes from the mind, and the idea revolves around words, and words have power. And so the people who have the ability to think, create these thoughts from words, and those words ultimately become ideas. Ideas transform into philosophy. So when we're talking about those who are the architects, engineers, and the managers of the philosophy, system, and game of capitalistic white supremacy, creating one of their base philosophies, manifest destiny. What that is, the architects, engineers say, it is their divine right to be authorized and ordained by God to control everything on the earth. And when they came to the New World, that premise engulfed the entire Americas in all of North America. That was their premise, that they are supposed to regulate and rule over every living being, animal and human, which they subjugated us and our other fellow native indigenous people to the premise of being basically animals and beneath animals. So that's their premise. And it has now evolved in the technological age to not only being on land in America, but also being in space. That's why you have the space centers and whatnot. And when Trump got in office, he was not playing games when he said, manifest destiny going into outer space. They want to create the whole Star Wars. So when you see the movies about Star Wars, anything in space, they want to control that as well. So that's their premise, that it is their destiny to regulate and control all things on Earth, under, in the core of the Earth, land, sea, air, and space. That is what manifest destiny.
And we know that's what they believe because that's what they do. They
Exactly.
seek to control every aspect of life as it relates to melanated peoples around the planet. And they certainly move in ways that show you that is what they believe and that's what they're all about doing. So manifest destiny, it sounds a lot like white man's burden. Are you familiar with white man's burden?
Yes. So the white man's burden is the byproduct of having manifest destiny, because again, their whole thing is to control everything and expand everywhere. And in controlling everything, you're dominating people. So the premise is our burden is to take care of these beasts, these animals, and we're talking human beings. And that is their overall premise. It is our burden. How do we handle them? How do we school them? How do we feed them? How do we clothe them? This is the burden that's on the white man.
Right. How do we make good Christians out of them? Okay, so with manifest destiny being an American philosophy or document, and white man's burden being British, are there other European or Caucasian documents or philosophies that say the similar thing, or should we all assume? Because this is what I say. I say same white boy, different accent, but they're all cousins.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. I mean, manifest destiny is nothing but an evolution of the Eurocentric white supremacist concepts that came to the continent of Africa, that initiated the triangular trades between African nations and European nations. So manifest destiny was just an expansion of that. Everything that they've learned to implement in the United States came from Europe. They sent the people to come and kind of till the ground. These were, murderers and rapists and whatnot. They tilled the ground, and then they sent the intellectual gangsters here from Europe. So all of what you see is a foundational construct that's been based on European society.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So that explains manifest destiny. So what exactly is the divine right of kings?
Oh man, when I tell you, white supremacy is one thing. So we know that white folks, Caucasian, pale skin, Europeans, you know, the whole thing is to always exalt, uplift, and create the illusion that white folks are the greatest thing in the history of the planet. So that's the philosophy of white supremacy, to make sure that everything is viewed through the lenses of how they view it. Because remember, the definition of power from Dr. Wade Noble is the ability to define reality and have others respond to your definition as if it were their own. So white supremacy starts the process. Manifest Destiny lays the foundation as to their scope. And then we get to the divine right of kings. And this is a philosophy that comes out of European thought for the ruler of a particular society. And that typically was the monarch. So you'll see the term monarchy, that means one ruler. Well, that concept says that the ruler, the king or the queen, was subject to no earthly oversight, no earthly rule. The only entity that could put the king or queen in check was who? God. Now, this is why you need to know who God is.
Come on.
So the white folks say nobody could put the king or queen in check but God. But guess what? Guess who's God? They are. See, God is not the creator of the stars, the moon, water, grass. That's the supreme being, that's the supreme force. God is actually you. But if you don't know you're God, and the only entity who is saying that they are God is the person or the entities who are controlling the physical reality of the world in which you live and believe in, then that entity is God. But they can't directly tell it to you that way, so they get you to believe in God, not knowing that when they say God, they're talking about self. So when you look at the King James Version of the Bible, King James was who? The monarch. He was the ruling class. So so if you ask somebody right now, would you read a Bible from the Trump administration? They'll be like, hell no, hell no. The hell with Trump, the hell with Trump. I don't want a Trump Bible. Well, that's what the goddamn Bible is. It is an authorized book from the monarch. And that at one point was King James. So this is a government document. And as you have asked me to look at the series, The Family, brother, I called you earlier this week and I said, man, the Creator has blessed me beyond measure, because when we talk about philosophy, in that series, the whole concept is structured around the philosophy that they orchestrate through the religiosity construct of Christianity. And it ain't got nothing to do with what the Negro believes Christianity is. This is about power and control. So when you understand the family, you can then go back and understand the movie, the Book of Eli. And in the movie, The Book of Eli, the villain was in search of one book.
That's right. One book to control the people.
Because he needed that one book to control every goddamn Bible.
That's right.
And what was that? The King James Version of the Bible. And this is how diabolical. So the divine right of kings expands from the monarch, because here's the beauty of what white folks figured out. They say, wait a minute, we got to put a game together that's not about just one king, not about one ruling entity, but about a mafia, a group of kings. And so now we're going to have this thing created. So now we go from monarchy to a plutocracy. So we got this elite of the elite, and they're running the whole show. And so they're letting it be known, we're not subject to any earthly oversight, for damn sure not from no people who are beneath us. And the people who are beneath the plutocrats are called oligarchs. Those are people like Donald Trump. They rich and whatnot, but they're not running the goddamn thing. They're merely knights, bishops, rooks in the game.
Yep.
And then you got the aristocracy. Those are the people who are the so-called upper middle class. Anybody that's not within those three realms, plutocrats, oligarchs, and aristocrats, their whole premise is we ain't subject to no goddamn body. So we're going to say what we want to say, do what we want to do, and manipulate you, and there ain't a goddamn thing you're going to do about it, because we've created a system that really the people at the bottom have the power, but since they don't know that they're in a game being manipulated by these three groups of people, they now are played in the game, because most of what they're doing is being compensated through a capitalistic structure, and they don't understand it. So now the ruling class operates as gods, and they just manipulate the entire game. So white supremacy, manifest destiny, divine right of kings, you can Google it, research it, and then when you can connect the dots and understand it, now you'll see why this is such a diabolical thing. And they'll say and do anything, use and do any body. Preachers, pimps, prostitutes, drug heads, murderers, killers, they don't care. Pedophiles, they'll use anybody for their good.
And it's interesting because when you look at these documents, the fundamental purpose, the ultimate goal, the beginning of their development was all about politics and for power.
Oh,
that is their religion. Everything that we do is politically motivated, and is to obtain and keep power, which is heavy because it drives their philosophy and their actions. Go ahead.
But the Negro don't want nothing to do with politics. And so it's like, that's why you got to educate them to understand politics is an art and science of leveraging agendas. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. So, and they do this throughout the entire realm every day.
And this is another thing that goes to a few episodes ago, we were talking about pseudo solutions that our people present to Black people to try and get them on board. And you've made a statement several times that goes to some of these pseudo solutions. Black people think they can run away from white people. You are not going to go to Africa. You are not going to get some sort of a status that's recognized by a universal court that the United States funds. Okay. You're not going to be able to run away from white people. So your best bet is to stay where you are, the power base that you already have, and use it within the system, learn the system, understand the game, so that you can build and do your own thing. And that's what we constantly miss.
You know, Brother Smile, what's so funny, and when I hear this from, especially from the Moors, it's like, if you all really understood what you were saying, you'll see how retarded your synopsis is and your so-called recommendation. Now, what am I saying? The Moors will tell you at one point they regulated, and it ain't no they, it's we, but they are part of African descendants. But they regulated everything that went on with white Europeans, right? They had them in an oppressed state. So the question then becomes, if you had these white folks in an oppressed state for hundreds of goddamn years, thousands of goddamn years, how did the white man come from out of their oppression? They had to learn the goddamn system of the Moors. And they worked within the system, navigated, and turned it against them to win. And so now the premise is we're not going to work within this system. We're just going to separate ourselves, segregate ourselves, and now win. And that's never going to happen, especially when the technological advances of being able to observe everything that you're doing from space is all in place, man. But brother, they got broadband cables, brother, to money being put across oceans, the goddamn ocean. They got broadband being put across the United States. They got satellites all in goddamn space. Dude, you're not going to escape from dealing with these folks.
That's right.
Okay. And now that under the corona, the pseudo-corona pandemic, they are now instituting a new world order right in front of your face and going to a cashless society.
Right.
And so most of what you've been doing off the books, bro, if you don't know how to get on the books and maneuver, you're going to be in trouble.
Yep.
You're going to be in trouble.
And that's something else that I see a lot of Black people talking about, and even a few groups have done, but they don't understand that that's the tip of the iceberg. So you got a lot of people who want to pool their resources and buy some land and build a community, which is cool. That's what you want to do. But it's a mistake to think that is then going to be an oasis of Black anything, and you're going to be separate, because you have to have a lot of money with a lot of expertise, and you're going to be connected to a larger municipality, or you're not going to make it. Because when it comes to the water systems, the sewage systems, the roadways, the electricity, the access to the internet, I mean, just things that you are not going to be able to do if you're not connected to a larger municipality.
Brother, there are white communities in the Shreveport area that white folks set up these suburbs, and they don't want to be in the inner core, but they don't want to be outside of the city. Why is that? Because they want to take advantage of our infrastructure.
Right.
Water and sewer lines. I mean, brother, that's a huge one. What you just got to say.
That's right.
Sanitation. That's a huge one. When you start talking about electricity infrastructure, streets, brother, this thing is very complex. And when you haven't had a chance to be around municipal corporation and the functionality of it, a lot of this stuff sounds, copacetic. But what the people don't understand, these gangsters control all land. So even when a landmass is unincorporated, it is a part of the political apparatus of some state, of some county or parish, even if it's not in the city. You understand?
Yep.
So you're going to still have to comply with some form of regulation.
Right.
And the type of monies that have to be instituted, even rich white folks don't even want to put that money up.
And also you have to look at the reality of natural disasters. So put some money together, you get with some Black people, you want to buy your own land, build your own community, and it sounds great, it's wonderful, more power to you. But what happens when there's a hurricane and you need assistance from somewhere?
Oh man.
I mean, so what you gonna do then?
Oh,
and,
man.
and I recently learned, brother, which is really interesting to me, that the Moors don't even believe in voting.
Yeah.
So how are you going to have ownership and or control of your society, your community, your city, or whatever, not connected to anything else? How you gonna make that work? I don't get it, and I don't understand it.
And what's so crazy about that, brother, somebody, is even if you desire to do your own thing, you still have to create a political infrastructure to control your own thing.
That's right.
So to not vote, to not be a part of a political process is asinine, because, again, everything that the white man has perceptively created.
Perceptively, there you go.
Nothing but a byproduct of what he gathered from what we were doing on the continent. The university systems, the governmental policy, all this starts in Al-Kabalan, Africa. So to deny or not want to participate in that, you're actually denying yourself, because all they're doing is taking what we started and elevating it, which, even with us coming out of chattel slavery, what did we do? We created townships.
That's right.
Okay? Yeah. We created townships. And so government has to assist the individuals that they purport to represent.
We
You're not a part of the political process. What are you really saying?
And what are you representing? So we are sometimes, we're so eager to denounce everything white that
exactly.
we denounce our own stuff because we don't know who we are and what we've done.
Exactly.
You know, we talk about the pyramids and who built them, but I don't think we really understood everything that took place to build the pyramids and things that was happening in and around the pyramids, which is really interesting. But anyway, let's get back to the subject at hand. All right. So when you take the two belief systems together, the divine rights of kings and manifest destiny, you take those two things together. Where am I? Okay. You have a people, Europeans, Caucasians, white people, who fundamentally believe that they themselves are God and there is no higher power that they are destined, that they are beholden to. They believe that they are supposed to rule over everybody, correct?
Correct.
All right. So getting to the game part of the philosophy, system, and game of capitalistic white supremacy and racism, getting to the game part, since they believe that they are God, when they talk about God, they refer to themselves, but we black people think about God in a completely different way.
Exactly.
Is religion a part of the game?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This thing is cold, brother.
So that means that religion has been and is still, not spirituality, but religion has been and is still a political tool that's used by other people to control large groups of people to get them to think and believe in certain things that really don't exist.
Exactly, bro. And it's so unfortunate. I remember doing a workshop years ago for this all-female group, and I asked, I asked the question. I said, "What Bible existed before King James?" And this one sister looked at me and raised her hand, and she said, "What the hell you mean?" And I said, "I'm asking the question, what Bible existed before King James?" King James is the Word of God. Ain't no book before King James. That's the only book. And I say, sister, you don't know about the Geneva Bible? You don't know about the Tyndale version of the Bible? Hell, even Thomas Jefferson had the Jefferson Bible. You don't know about the Latin Vulgate? All of these books are political tools to control people. And what they've done so clever, and I got to give it to you for, again, having me to watch The Damn Family. Bro, this is so gangster. How they use the story of Yeshua Jesus. I mean, to hear white supremacists use this story, oh, it is beautiful to see how they play the game. And it's just wonderful to know that they know that the majority of people don't know the difference between spirituality and religiosity. They have no clue. So now you create the religious construct, church, synagogue, mosque, temple. And so now people believe that they are going to the place to get what? Spirituality. But what you're going to get is political program.
Right, and indoctrination.
Oh, my, bruh, I got to give it to him, bruh. So the church is the beyond the house, okay? Because the house is the first programming system of the game. Because you can't determine who your mother and father are. That's already determined for you. Your bloodline is already set. Their indoctrination is already set. So if they haven't broken the shackles, you're now going to regurgitate what they were taught. So the indoctrination starts before you're even born based on who your mother and father are. So now you come into the house, you're now indoctrinated under the initial system of religiosity, whatever it is, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, whatever, Rastafari. So now you go to that religious institution and you get the direct program. And now you go to the school. Like, one of the biggest things that I like to hear is when people say, well, part of the reason that these children are killing each other is because we took prayer out of school. And I'm like, prayer out of school? I don't ever remember. I'm 52. I was born in 1967.
All right.
I don't ever remember praying in school. I don't, maybe you do. I don't remember being in elementary, junior high, high school prayer. I don't.
I remember doing it one time, but that's because my teacher was a pastor and we were in the country. So it was only that one teacher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember a policy.
Oh, no, not at all. No.
Where prayer was being done in every class that you went to. I don't. So when people say this, I'm like, when was there a policy about prayer being in school? Because I'm 52. I say maybe it's something else that's going on. But needless to say, that didn't exist when I was in school. But people are actually craving for the indoctrination of how they were programmed within the religious construct. And so, yes, religion is part of the initial. It plays the base foundation of the game.
Yep. And it is telling, at least when it comes to our people, how much how confused we are, and how much hope and lack of belief we don't have in ourselves, because instead of looking to ourselves to build and do what needs to be done, we would rather pray to someone else in hopes that, because in our mind he's white, a white man is going to come back who died 2,000 years ago, is going to come back and save us, and we believe that, as opposed to learning the game, learning the system, understanding how things work and building and doing for ourselves. If you try to have a conversation with a black person about the political aspects of how the Bible came to be,
they don't want to hear
the books that were taken out of the Bible, political reasons and why, the Nicene Council, everything that they did to use the Bible, they don't want to hear it. They refuse to listen to truth, historical truth, and anything that's going to take them away from their belief system, which is white guy coming back to save them. So,
and that gets to what Dr. Carter G. Woodson talked about in This Education of the Negro, and that's why I always recommend that book first on people's journey to become enlightened, because he says right in the book, if you can control a person's thinking, you do not have to worry about his or her action. When you determine what a person shall think, you don't have to concern yourself about what he will do. Now, we know they're not going to control all of us. And this is what I try to explain to people about white supremacy and their philosophies and how they execute the game. It's not about absolute. It's about percentage.
Right.
Do you think they give a damn if, me, Tamani, and a 1% of us break the shackles of religious indoctrination and white supremacist indoctrination and become free? Because our initial fight, Brother Tamani, is going to be against who?
Our own people.
Exactly.
And that's a hell of a fight.
They weaponize our own goddamn people against the people who are actually fighting for them to free their goddamn ass. And that's why Robert Townsend in Hollywood Shuffle, he made the skit when they were escaping, and he was the butler, Why y'all want to leave Mouse? He feels throughout the week we eat on Sunday. He only feels we got it good here, okay? Because the people are so indoctrinated. And when you don't have to do any work, like today when I got into Atlanta, went to a black restaurant, met one of my good partners from Shreveport, and we had a good lunch, and we chopped it up on the business front, and his wife came and joined us, and I said I wanted to go to a black-owned spot, so we went to this place called J.R. Cricket, or Ricketts, or whatever.
Crickets.
I put it on,
Yeah, I saw it.
Did it on Facebook Live. But look at what the owner said, Brother Tamani. She said, if you know some people who need a job, please let them know. I said, well, maybe my partner can help. Check out what's going on. And this is gangster. All these Negroes talking all this Trump foolishness. They getting checks. So look, they ain't going to work, right?
Right.
They don't want to work now. But they don't even see what the game is, bro. They putting a Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope on these fools, and they don't even get it. So they've been sitting on their ass, getting a check, right? They don't even see the game that's being played, moving to a cashless society. And now the Negro is developing the attitude of not working. Now, Brother Tamai, what is the test case for the financial discussion that's engulfing America now from the Negro perspective? Based on what is going on right now, there's a major financial conversation that involves trillions of dollars. And the test case is already underway as to what we would do if these trillions of dollars came to us. What is that discussion?
Reparations.
Exactly. Now, follow me, man. Follow me. The damn test case of what the Negro would do if he got the money is already going on. You ain't even ready for this, brother. You ain't ready for this. My partner tells me today at our goddamn luncheon, a Negro female who has master's degree, who is a business owner, listen to me, man, took $5,000 of her damn money that she got from the government. And you want to know what she bought with $5,000.
I can only imagine, brother.
A goddamn dog.
$5,000?
Yes, sir. English, some kind of goddamn dog.
Wow.
Well, my father said he's a damn dog. It's a puppy. He said, at least a damn dog could possibly protect you. I think it's an English bulldog. He said it ain't even an African bulldog. He said a goddamn English bulldog. 5 rats. And he said the dog was really being sold for $7,500, but the white dude that sold it to her gave her a break because she said she was not going to breed it, which of course she lied because she is going to breed it. But not no goddamn dilapidated property or an adjudicated property.
Right, something that can increase in value, right.
A goddamn dog.
Yeah.
So the test case for what Negroes would do, most of them, once they get their stimulus, I mean, if they got reparations, the test case is what's going on right now with the stimulus money. Yeah. And where you can now consolidate and start a business with 10 people to make something happen. It's all about I, me, individualism, status, materialism, and that's what's going on.
It's like my barber says, if a crackhead wins the lotto, he's just a crackhead with money. because he's still a crackhead that's going to use crack and he won't have the money for long just because he won the lotto. All right. So if you are just joining us and you missed the intro, you are listening to the Revolutionary Code, where we bring you the truth about how governmental politics actually works in every facet of human existence and how that affects our people, Black people here in America. Tonight's show is our 9th episode and is titled, The Philosophy, System, and Game of Capitalistic White Supremacy and Racism, Understanding Its Origin, Our Current Reality, and What We Must Do Now. My name is Tamani Umandani. I'm the founder of the Black Owned Nation Movement. And my co-host this evening is Brother Craig B. Lee. He is our National Director of Political Strategy and Implementation for the Black Owned Nation Movement. Okay, Brother Craig, we agree that religiosity is a part of the game. What else is a part of the game? The educational system, the political system, security system, what else is a part of this game that these white people are playing on our people?
All of it, but the public school system and the private school system are all a part of the game infrastructure. Those are the first two, whether you're talking about daycare, Head Start, kindergarten, secondary education, higher ed, all of that is a part of the process. The majority of people, whether you go to school, drop out, or whatever, the other most important part of the game involves entertainment. And I want to be very clear about how clever they are by using entertainment. Most people have never looked up the word entertainment. I suggest that you do an etymology research on the word, because most people believe that entertainment, you know, when they say, oh, it's just entertainment. What they're saying, Brother Tamani, they believe that entertainment is something that's harmless, something that's fun.
Right, it don't matter.
It don't matter. It's just nice, it's friendly.
That's right.
No. No, entertainment is about distracting you from what you need to be focused on. And they do this, they enter your mind to distract you from being focused on economics, on gaining empowerment, on spirituality, on culture, those 6 pillars of empowerment. And they do this very cleverly because they got different branches of the entertainment apparatus. You have television entertainment, movie entertainment, sports entertainment, religious entertainment, anything that people do in their lives, cooking show, entertainment, church, religious entertainment, news, entertainment.
Do what?
They have
For
all
what?
these particular things going on within the entertainment genre, and all of it is focused on distracting you from the things that you need to be focused on to improve your life, the lives of your family, and the lives of your people. It's very clever. And so all of that is a part of the game. Nutrition is a part of the game. So everything that you deal with on a daily basis is a part of the game in order to distract you from empowering yourself to take control of your destiny.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All right. So of course, we are all about solutions in this movement. We're not just trying to talk. We're not just trying to entertain. We want to always provide solutions for our people, because the goal is to put ourselves in a position by which we can own and control the environment and do our own thing as we see fit to move the Black forward, the Black mind, body, spirit, and psyche. So again, tonight's show title is The Philosophy, System, and Game of Capitalistic White Supremacy and Racism, Understanding Its Origins. We've already done that. Our current reality and what we must do now. So what is our current reality, Brother Craig?
So the current reality is a people who are wandering in the wilderness and not knowing what direction to go. And that's why those of us who are about the business of helping to empower our people must mobilize and organize. Unfortunately, although the situation is enormous, gigantic, epic, and although it is not only in America, but throughout the entire world for our people, the only way that we're going to come out of this is at the local level. That's just the reality. And through the Black Gold Nation and what we're doing in Shreveport and Houston and other parts of the country in key cities, we have to plant the seeds with grassroots people in order to begin to show the physical prototype of how we're going to be able to navigate at the local level. There is no other way. It's unfortunate. But as I always tell you, and I tell anybody else, you cannot, we cannot, no one can build any structure, a residential, commercial structure, or any other structure from the roof down. This must be done from the bottom up. And that's why even white folks will tell you when it comes to politics, although you see the White House, Capitol Hill, you always hear them say, all politics is what?
Local. That's right.
Because it all starts at the local level. And we haven't understood that yet. So you got people who will just jump up and say, I'm gonna run for the damn Senate. I'm gonna run for the Congress. You don't even know how the damn, tax revenue work at the city, man.
Right.
And so this it's unfortunate, but those of us who are committed and dedicated to this game, we have to provide the leadership, and we have to be unapologetic about it, because this whole respectability politics, where you know, you play nice with people who know that they don't know what the hell they're talking about, and you're not supposed to put them in check. It's one thing to show respect to folks, but when you got people constantly lying to our people, you have to call these things to the carpet,
right? Because
we're being misled in a variety of different directions, and that's where we come in to provide this particular leadership.
And that misleading that's being done to our people, we don't understand that. We don't have time for that because things are changing too rapidly, too quickly, and we are most certainly running the risk of becoming a permanent underclass. So we're already 250, 300 years behind on putting something in place that's going to build power. So anything we do that doesn't add to the obtainment of power for ourselves is a waste of time, and we don't have time to waste at all.
Exactly. And you know, Brother Tamani, this week, as I was preparing for the show, the whole Andrew Gillum situation happened, the former mayor of Tallahassee. And I've been observing comments about this, and it's so disturbing when you say, you know, where our people at right now. We don't get it. And I'm talking about males and females, primarily females. They really believe that this homosexual issue is some foolishness about the damn bedroom. Our people are so naive about this game. And what they, and look, I sent one of my classmates from Xavier some information the other day. I said, you all better start to research who the Negro homosexual hero really is. It ain't no damn Malcolm X. It ain't no Martin Luther King. It ain't no damn Muhammad Ali. It ain't no Marcus Garvey. It is Bayard Rustin.
Right.
B-A-Y-A-R-D.
Right.
R-U-S-T-I-N. This is a game being played on a high level. And Andrew Gillum, is the reason that they brought him out, they're going to repackage him and offer him to the Negro because he has the look and he has the game, the mouthpiece. Mm-hmm. And when I told my partner today, he said, well, I don't care about what he does in his private life. Whoa. Listen, brother, you cannot be about the Black family, which is being pro-life, and advocate an anti-life behavior. Right. They don't go together. And so we don't understand that this is not about what you're doing in your bedroom. Because if that was what it was about, why the hell are they bringing it to the public? Now, I mean, just start to think about this. There is a reason. And so from that overall standpoint, politics, the agenda that they are pushing, is all about decreasing the population numbers for African descendants, other melanated people, because they're at a population deficit. And if we don't control our politics, we're going to constantly be played in this game. But study Bayard Rustin, because he is the cat who was the architect of this whole Negro LGBTQRS YUM, whatever they damn alphabets they got. They had them every damn day.
Right.
But I needed to make that point.
Okay, so I asked you what is our current reality, and you said that we are a people who are wandering in the wilderness, not knowing which direction to go. Okay, I can most certainly dig that. So for the persons who might push back against that being our current reality, can you give a few quick statements of fact, some proof to back up your belief that we are in fact a people who are wandering in the wilderness, not knowing which direction to know, which direction to go?
You have an international movement based on police brutality, murder, terrorism, and you have, since George Floyd was murdered, just in the city of Shreveport alone, you've had about 40 Negro on Negro murders. And not a goddamn peep from the Negro Lives Matter through those movements, and the same throughout the country. See, only people who are confused would believe that you can demand that other people value your life more than you value your own. So that's the number one example. The number two example is what I just gave you. You got people who are sitting up getting stimulus checks, but they don't want to go to work now, and they're being rope-a-dope to sleep. And so those of us who were already on the grind as entrepreneurs, we're stepping up. Those of us who are grassroots advocates, we're stepping up. But I'm hearing too many examples of complacency and laziness that's going on. And as this thing shapes out going into 2021, a lot of these businesses are not coming back. And there's no real agenda that is being discussed in Washington with the Congressional Black Caucus. I haven't heard anything from the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. Right. I mean, the Congressional Black Caucus or their foundation. Haven't heard anything. Haven't heard anything from the NAACP nationally. Haven't heard anything from the goddamn Urban League. Okay?
Yeah.
But so these are clear examples that you can take to the bank.
So how old is the Congressional Black Caucus?
I don't know directly, but
maybe 30, 40 years, huh?
I mean, I would probably say about 40 years old, or maybe a little bit more.
Okay, okay. How old is the Urban League?
Oh, the Urban League is almost 100 years old.
How old is the NAACP?
110 or something like that.
And
like 1909.
And they aren't saying anything about our current reality? What's that about? Okay. All right. Okay.
And look, I'm a member of the NAACP.
I know.
And I'm a member of the Urban League for Louisiana. But I mean, I'm just telling you that they are interestingly quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, the rhetoric that they put out periodically, but it's not, there's no game plan. They're not in this reparations discussion. They for damn sure ain't taking a position as relates to Negro terrorism, police terrorism, because we have to do these things simultaneously.
That's right.
You have to work these things simultaneously, because now what's going on in Shreveport, a joint task force has been established, and now the feds are going to start back locking all these Negroes up. So see, you can't have it both ways. You can't have the mass incarceration discussion and want Negroes to get out of jail, but not have a standard to that they have to abide by when they come out of jail, and they're now being allowed to terrorize and kill. We had a 2-year-old child to get shot in Shreveport the other day when a Negro just came out and started shooting because his girlfriend was getting beat up by a group of other females. He started shooting everybody.
Wow.
And then a 2-year-old got shot.
Yep.
This is where we're at, bro. So those are the key examples I would give you.
I can dig it. Okay, last question. We talked about the origins of the philosophy, system, and game of capitalistic white supremacy and racism. We talked about the origins. We talked about our current reality. The last part of tonight's show title is What We Must Do Now. So tell me, what must we do now?
Call your ass once we get off the phone. Yeah. No, for real, they got to now become a part of a local and a national grassroots infrastructure so that they can learn what they have to do locally, in their state, in their region, and in the country to connect with other people, other grassroots people. I want to be very clear, other grassroots people. And that's immediate. And so that's the first and foremost thing that they need to do. Get involved with your NAACP. So you can see, and it probably, person may say, well, Craig, you just said that they're not doing anything. You need to get involved so you can see what I'm talking about.
Right.
Because if you're not involved, you really don't understand. Get involved if your city has an urban league. Start going to your city council meetings. If they can't go to them, tap into them on Zoom. They're typically going to have a live streaming session. Get involved and see your parish commission meetings or county commission meetings, your school board meetings. You got to get involved in the process so you know what's going on. Then you find local people, if they're not in existence in your town. That's why you need to hook up with BGN, Black Gold Nation, if you don't have that. And then you can now start to maneuver within that. Tyra, you're absolutely correct. Houston NAACP is a clique, but the people got to be involved so that they can see how the clique operates.
Right.
It's a small investment to learn how to actually navigate. And interestingly enough, you can start, when you join these organizations, there are people in there that are honestly wanting to do something.
Right.
So you can recruit them to some legitimate grassroots work. So those are the initial things. And of course, Brother Tamani, starting to learn to read, go into YouTube, get some video curriculum and tapping in. But the number one thing, call you, inbox me so that we can now plug you in to a legitimate national apparatus that's being structured at the local levels so that we can now teach people what needs to be done in their specific city.
All right, brother, it is 10:02. As usual, we do a pretty good job of keeping this thing to 1 hour, so I do thank you for that. Before I ask you about your closing remarks, I don't see any questions. Do we have anyone who's joining us on Zoom that has a question that they would like to ask Brother Craig? Anyone have any questions for Brother Craig at all? Any questions going once? Any questions going twice? All right, so I'm going to say that we have no questions. And before I get you to give us your closing remarks, Brother Craig, I want to acknowledge and welcome one of our newest Black Gold ambassadors out of Houston, Texas, Sister Patrice Wright. She came on board via a strategic partnership we have with Brother Lloyd Ford's organization, Creative Group Economics. She's going to be assisting us with our youth education program. So I want to acknowledge our sister coming on board. And let me tell you, brother, Houston is about to be on the map in a huge way. I added about, I think, 15, 20 people to the Houston team on Basecamp. So we're about to make some things happen to lay the groundwork and to be the example for these other cities, these other 99 cities that we're having this virtual tour in, so we can make sure that we are connected on the grassroots level and we're doing what needs to be done to build power for our people. So with that, brother, your closing comments.
Well, first off, I want to welcome Patrice on board. I want to thank everybody who tuned in this evening. And again, I want to challenge everybody to get in this fight. There are no rights, as I told this old dude the other day who came. Oh, and by the way, if you mess around and come on my damn Facebook page and you don't know what he's talking about, don't get mad when I pimp slap you. You know, don't get mad, because you better know what you're talking about. I'm going to ask you some questions, and if you don't know what you're talking about, you're going to get checked. I mean, it's really that simple. But I told this brother the other day, he's an older brother, and I'm like, brother, there are no rights that you have earned on your own. People have paved the way.
That's right.
And there's no way that I'm going to tolerate anybody talking about not voting, not being in this game, because we're standing on the shoulders, the works of so many people that have gone before us. And so I challenge everyone to link up with Black Gold Nation. Inbox me, inbox Brother Tumani. Our information, if you're not on Facebook, get on Facebook, but link up because we have to rock and roll. Exactly, brother, Sister Patrice. All the talking foolishness, that's out, brother. You got to get in and do some actual work. And this is the time. And if you are not compelled at this stage in the ball game with everything that's going on in the world, with Corona, with the police murders, the Negro, the cashless society, you ain't never gonna be compelled. So when they put your ass back on the plantation, don't try to call 911, me or goddamn, because I'm going to make sure that your ass stay on the plantation. You need to be on the plantation. But other than that, I thank you guys for joining us. And as I always do, in closing, I leave you with the quote: if there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters. This struggle may be a moral one or it may be a physical one, but it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. Never has, never will. Men may not get all they pay for in this world, but they most certainly will pay for all they get. Sign it out in hot Atlanta, and I'll be on my way to Beham in the morning, the Steel City, before I get back to Louisiana. Peace and chicken grease.
All right. My email is theblackgoldnation@gmail.com. The Black Gold, Gold, theblackgoldnation@gmail.com. The website is www.blackgold-wakandarising.com. www.blackgold-wakandarising.com. Click on after the protest, read what we're doing via our 100 city tour, and register to see the cities that we're involved in, and register for the city that you are connected to, or if you know people in other cities who need to be a part of what we're doing, let them know so that they can register. Because as Brother Craig has been saying, it has to start from the grassroots level. It cannot start from the top down. We got to build the foundation first, and the foundation is where most of our people are, which is on the grassroots level. So if you want to check out previous episodes of the Revolutionary Code, again, this is episode number 9. You can go to our media website, blackgoldmedia.net, and you can see the previous 8 episodes that we've done, as well as the movie reviews that we've done. I think there's about 10 or 12 of those there. So again, as Brother Craig said, I want to echo, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part. Please share this with as many melanated people as you know, and come back next week because we do this every Thursday. Remember that we are not here just to inform or educate you. We're not trying to get clicks. We're not trying to get likes. We're not trying to just entertain you. We want to inform, educate, motivate, mobilize, organize, and build. We're trying to get you to do something because we have a lot of issues that no one is going to fix for us. Again, as I said initially, every single thing we do for a reason, and it's about getting you, Black person, on board to help us build something for our people that's going to protect our people and allow us to move forward and live with some dignity and be who we're supposed to be so that we can get ourselves in order and get the world back in order. So again, thank you guys for being a part. I sincerely appreciate it.
Oh, Brother T, yeah. One last thing I just thought about it. Mm-hmm. Just a quick little example, and I want to thank my African-American colleagues on the Caddo Parish Commission in Shreveport, Caddo Parish, Louisiana. It is now official that the most powerful symbol of hate and white supremacy in North Louisiana, North Central Louisiana. The Confederate statue in front of our Kettle Parish Courthouse has been decided. It will, I mean, it's already been voted on, but it will be coming down within the next month or so once the contractor has been identified, and it will be moved to Ku Klux Klanville in Mansfield, Louisiana, to a Confederate site. I want to thank them for that, and I want to let it be known this has been a 3-decade fight, Brother Tamani. And I want to say prayers and positive vibrations to the spirit of Brother Ronald Hampton, because he started this fight 3 decades ago. I picked up the baton, as well as several other grassroots people in the city of Shreveport 2 decades ago, and 10 years ago we got the flag down, and now we got the statue is going to be removed. And my point about saying this, it may seem simple, but you have to be vigilant in this game. Even in something like this has been a 3-decade fight, and we were not going to allow this brother who started this process work to be in vain. So I hope his spirit is pleased, and I respect him, and we're gonna have a big ass party I'm serious, brother. We're gonna invite. It's gonna be on national news. We're gonna play this up real big. Excellent. So that you can see, because Shreveport was the last stronghold of the Confederacy. So this is monumental, and I want to thank the Kettle Parish commissioners who did this past and present.
Excellent, and I'm glad you said that about it having been a 3 decades old fight. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon for sure. As you and I were discussing before the show started, our people want a centuries old problems to be solved next month, and it don't happen that way. So with that, again, thank you guys for being a part of the show. Always remember 2 things. 1, no one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And absolutely always remember that nothing is more sacred than the liberation and salvation of Black people. So with that, thank you guys again very much. Have a wonderful evening. God bless, and I'll see you guys next week.
Peace.